I can never get this right. G'day and welcome to this part, could be 58 of the XC, and also a few other bits and pieces. So our, what do you call it, junkyard air cleaner is pretty much done. I haven't done the snorkel yet. The XC guards get painted and I'll put them on the car just to harden off. It's not, a lot of people show a job straight off the gun with 2-pack and you get it like glass. Acrylic, don't forget, it is a sort of a satiny finish till you wet sand it and colour it, wet sand it and buff it. Bit of news. So the XA, I'm actually going into partnership with my brother with that car. And so we had a good talk about it today. And there's a couple of things that we agree on and some we don't. John's got a pretty heavily modified Mustang and also a very heavily modified MCG. No, MGC. So that's a fuel injected 6 with alloy head and all this sort of stuff. And the Mustang's a 450 horsepower small block. Now, he likes doing that sort of stuff. The first engine that he bought for the Mustang, well, he had a few in mind. He had an FE in mind, which is why he bought a 428 crank to get a 390 and turn it into a 428. And then he thought it might be a bit too heavy, and he's right. He liked the idea of a small block in that car, which keeps the handling in check and this sort of stuff. So he bought a dart block, a 4-bolt 351 Windsor type block with a 4 1/8 bore or something. It's 427 with the rotating assembly and I think it's a 950 carburetor and some AFR race heads. And he wants to stick that in the XA with a Tremec 5-speed. So I said to him, well, if you do that, you're not going to be able to stick a Borgie in the back. He goes, no, we want a 9-inch. So he'll get that. So he's going to do the drive line and I'll do the car. And it's going to be summer gold, the way I envisaged it, with the parchment interior, with the cloth inserts and the GT dash. We've got to get it right XA dash, which has the top gauges like that, not these ones. They're XB, and they always look wrong in XAs if you know sort of what you're looking at. So summer gold, it's going to go its original colour. I was toying with the idea of Kelly green, but no, summer gold, parchment trim, everything I wanted, GS front, but no GT scoops or anything like that. Just leave it as standard Fairmont. But it's going to be a 7-litre manual. So that was one thing I didn't plan on because I've got that 351 for it. So that looks like it's going to get used for something else. The other bit of news is I bought a Galaxy, a 67. It's painted blue at the moment. It is a, what's the name for it? The yellow. Springtime yellow was its original colour. So I'll go back to that. It's a left-hand drive. It's a 4-door hardtop. So it's pillarless. It just looks like a sedan. And that'll go back to springtime yellow. I'll lift the body up because it's got frame damage on it, which is why I got it for a reasonable price. It's a 390 car. It looks like an FMX. It doesn't look like it's got a C6 in it, which is what that is. Has it got a C6? Yeah, it's one piece. So yeah, it's not a C6, it's got an FMX in it. And that's on the way. That'll be here in the next couple of days. The trade-off with that is I've spent too much money, so I've got to get rid of a couple of cars. And at this stage, 2-door Merc's on the way out. I'll clean it up a bit. That's got to get sold, and maybe the EJ. The EJ, the only thing I've got money in really is the engine. All the machine work was done on the engine. The pistons, got new pistons, brand new camshaft. I've recoed the distributors and all this sort of stuff, but I haven't reground the crank. I've got an unground crank that had to be reground, and let's get the crank done and the cam bearings fitted. No, the cam bearings are in. Had to get the crank round. Yeah, and then the short motor can go together. Oh, and the timing set, that's right. They're a gear drive thing. So I might sell the engine first. I'll just see. The car isn't worth anything, but I could use the space. So with all that being said, I hope you enjoy. Just trying to make a snorkel for this Fairlane. Not Fairlane, it's off the Fairlane. I'm making it for that big block engine. It doesn't need one, but I'm going to give it a crack anyway. It's just really thin, it blows out so easily. like that. You can hear it go. So you're building up both sides and then welding between it. It keeps blowing out. What I was talking about, it was blowing out all across here. And I was kind of welding to each side and filling it. And it's messy, it's horrible. I'll cut along here and I'll just put a fillet in there. Then once I've got that all stable, I'll cut it level and then make up a flange for it. But that way it gets more air in than a conventional FE air cleaner. And it'll look pretty good. You know, it'll sit there and really look the part. Right, so I'm feeling a lot better. My hands are so clean, they haven't been this clean in ages. From not doing this sort of thing. Right, so the problem we've got is this actuator arm is wrong. It's supposed to be that one for the cable. And there's a fix to it, and it's, when you first see it, it's a bit of a pain in the neck. So I'm just going to pop this off, which is, damn, oh man, wrong socket. Right socket. Okay. This is the wrong way to do this. I'm just going to, all my Minimax stuff is wearing out. I had a beautiful little Minimax quarter drive, and it's knackered. And my 3/8 is on the way out too. Where's my screwdriver? Just a moment. This is the wrong way to do this. This is going to go twang. And the other part that's not good with it is you can wear out the dog there that it sits in, or the rebate. Whoops. Get off. There we go. Now, this is the problem I'm faced with, right? Let me show you. The angle of this is wrong. It suits that. If I put this here, it's going to be right back there. Now, fortunately, it's an easy fix. We can take this off. And if there's any fluid in here, oh, I haven't done a very good job with rebuilding the calipers because that seal's just a grease seal. And there should be no fluid whatsoever. If there is, it's my fault. So all we're going to do is lift this off, and there are 3 balls and a dog. See those balls? Well, there's one there. And all we've got to do is move those balls to the next position. So they're sitting sort of like that. We want them like that. But you don't do it there, you do it in here. Let me just get a bit more grease. There's a bit of dust in here. And stick it in there. There's also like a little guide pin there. We don't want to upset that. If you take that part out here, it's just going to, there's just a Torrington bearing behind there to help it, because there's a lot of duress there. So essentially those ramps, just as you rotate the handbrake, they set the balls up on the ramp part, which pushes against the thing. Against the, what do you call it? The pin, the pads. So we want this one, whoops, to be further back. So I'm just going to rotate that. Let's push that back in. So around about there. Bearing in mind the pin's still located, that should go on, and it'll center itself to there. Yeah. So I'll just do these up again. Very easy fix. I thought it would be more complicated than that because I couldn't remember doing the pads. It was a long time ago. Or the calipers, sorry. Everything on this car was just such a long time ago because I keep doing it sporadically. So that will fit. Once you've tightened those, you don't have to rebond them, but just make sure they're nice and tight. And sometimes what I noticed was it might not be one move you have to do. You might have to do 2 just to get that in the right angle, trajectory. And then, where's the bloody cable? And then we're just going to put this on. Actually, I might put this on first without putting the cable on. It might be easier to stick that on later. These are a pain in the neck. You got to kind of force it and then, whoops, and then rotate it and hold the spring and use a screwdriver and all this crap, because these springs are really quite strong. I'm going to use that as a thing to rotate it with, as a pivot. And then bring it down. Just like that. And just make sure that spring doesn't get caught underneath it as you're doing it. Oops. That works. No. Yep. Okay. I'm going to stick this guy in. And Bob's your uncle. Just going to put that other handbrake clip on, adjust it up, and make sure it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Which so far, I can't see from this angle, but so far it looks alright. There we go. Right, handbrake, I think we've got the cable sorted out. Pain in the neck because, where is it? See that intermediate sheathing there? That one? I've cut that ferrule. Where is it? I'd have to shorten that black sheath 3 inches or so to match the old one, or one of the old ones, because it seems that the radius was right there. Even then it didn't work, it was too tight. So I've cut it a further inch. So I've taken quite a lot off that, but it has got a satisfactory radius. So it all looks to be alright now. I've got a spring up here and it'll probably make noise. The only issue is, on the exhaust, if you can see there, that's going to have to come back. I might put a spring there or something, or screw a bracket into the floor here. That's sort of under your clutch pedal there, and that'll keep it off the exhaust. That's the only issue I can see with the handbrake at the moment. The rest of it looks pretty good. This exhaust I'm so happy with. It really seems to fit well. Although I do have to suss out the rear tailpipe mounts. The exhaust does seem to fit really, really well, although I think we'll have to get some tips and bring it out another, say, 2 inches or so. I said 4 inches in the other one, can you imagine that? About 2 inches. That's not tight, it's sort of just hanging there. Let me get a light and show you what we're going to do. I'm happy with underneath here, although that bougie's going to have to go. That one, we do need a 9-incher on a 351 4-speed. I've only got a bogie in the XW, and it's been fine so far, but I haven't been harsh on it. Oh, Yorks of gold. Just a minute. Right. These exhaust mounts, there's a bumper bolt there. Now, XWs and Ys have them from the chassis rail. I think these ones are from here, are they? Grant sent me some photos of his. He's been such a good help, Grant Wickham. Wonderful. And I'm almost tempted to make my own. I really am. I can even weld something onto there and just have a rubber thing and an eyelet there. Not sure about the other side. Just a minute. Same deal. I'm really thinking about just making something, because I've got to watch what I spend. I've bought another car and I've overspent, so I'm going to have to sell something and go easy on the dollars. So I might make something for there. That might be the way to go. Just hang it off the bumper mount. I need to have a look at a picture of them again, just to make sure that I'm right, because I could be wrong. That's actually off center, so that would mean it's hanging off that side, oops, of the pipe over here to get it central. And I don't mind, I don't care. I really couldn't care less, to be honest with you. Yeah. So on the outside edges is the exhaust, because then I can do up all these clamps and we're golden. All the exhaust handbrake's done. I've just got to make that bracket to stop it cooking up on the engine pipe, and unfinished underneath. That'd be cool. Just in the backyard on this lovely day. So the wind. This is a Ryobi die grinder. Pretty good for me because I've got neighbours and I worry about them. It's just got little roll lock things on. This is a, what do you call it, Scotch Brite one. I've also got 36s and 80s, and it's great for getting rid of rust. So these were blasted a while ago. I'm just going to go slow and just take it off. But the main thing is that it uses the same battery as all the other tools I've got. And it's nice and quiet. I mean, that's a bit noisy, but I'm just going to get any surface rust off. And I'm just going to throw a bit of etch on the guard and also on these covers. It just wipes it off. It was simple as that, there's no effort involved. But air tools are significantly noisier, so I've got to resort to using battery ones. I'm touching everything that I'm not supposed to be touching. Great, like that. Sweet. I'm going to move the camera. You guys are in the way all the time. What did I tell you about that, huh? I'm probably putting this on a bit thick, actually. I probably shouldn't be. Now, this air cleaner is my little hybrid one. I've kind of bodyworked it, but not really. Still pretty rough. But I don't think it matters. I think once we give it a nice gold coat of paint for our big block, we're cooking with gas. So these covers have got a few imperfections on them. And again, these are the ones that were off the big block. Right, well, the time's upon us. We've got to have a bit of a look at this again. I'm going to get it in primer so I can see exactly what's there. I've dulled out that line a little bit. I'm just hoping it's all right. It didn't look too bad. Our cut and shut air cleaner. So we'll go gold, as with this. I've just got this stupid, weird thing with gold, black and gold FE motors. I've also got the lid for that, which is going gold as well. And how to paint this? I've got a bike there, so I've got to be careful. That's got to be primed as well. That's the sort of nose cone part for the guard. And I've done another fit, and I reckon I can get it to fit quite well. So not looking too bad. Garage is a bit dirty, but she'll be right. We'll close that door, protect those two awesome falcons, and we'll make a start in a moment. The thing with this is you've got to be in the mood to do it, and I'm really in the mood now. So much so I forgot the steering stick. Hang on a minute. I actually don't like doing body work, but I'm in the mood to do it at the moment. That doesn't mean I'm going to do it well, but I've always been like, yeah, you're going to do the XC, you're going to get back to it and all this. Now I'm really, really cooking with it because I'm nearly there, you know. So, bad as it is, I went through all my paint, found out what I've got and what I haven't got. And, whoa, it's stirring up. Some of this paint I've had for a while. Where's my hammer? Bugger it, where is it? I need my hammer. One thing I did forget to do was I forgot to buy new filters for my mask. I normally, like, if it's just small crap, you just do it outside, you know. But I've got to do these inside. It's sort of critical that it looks right. Now I'm just using dirty old cheap acrylic because it's DIY friendly. And I did the XW 10 years ago and that still looks great. The XD When did I do the XW? 10 years ago. The XD was a bit longer, and that's not so good because it was outside under a wet cover and it sort of destroyed it. Just going to whack a bit of high fill in there and a bit of GP in here. Mix it up, see what we got. Hang on. Oh God. And that's probably right to shoot there. So I've got the other thing, two-pack stuff's better, but that's pros only. You can't do that at a domestic residence, you know, in suburbia. So we've got to use acrylic. It's not as good, we know that, but in the future builds, I'm going to epitech them. And the good thing about that in critical areas, you can just brush it on when it self-levels, and you know, like the base of the doors and all this sort of stuff where you do get rust problems, you just brush it on. You don't have to spray it. It's two-pack, so it'll self-level, and it's impenetrable, almost, that stuff. I've got to finish this. If I don't finish this, it'll get overspraying it, and that's not good. I can probably thin that a bit more. With the two-pack stuff, you have to measure it out. This stuff, oh, I'm so used to it, and I know it so well. I do it by eye, and that's there now. So, we load our gun. I'm not even filtering it. A lot of this will probably just get rubbed out. I'm going to put a mask on and start shooting. I'm giving it quite a thick couple of coats so I can really rub it out, you know what I mean? First time you throw a bit of colour on something that's the same, you can see it's like a dull line, a sharp line, but it looks fairly straight. We're a little bit sus there. A little air cleaner, well, that just looks like an air cleaner. It's got to dry. Valve covers aren't excellent, but they'll do. They're a little bit pitted from rust and that sort of stuff. These were, of course, hydroblasted. Whoops, it'll be too wet. So we'll just paint them gold. Should be right. These doors. A bit more cleaning up on that one. Interestingly, I've got a lot of messages about this without the side intrusion bar. One guy reckons it's a repro. Apparently Vans and Utes didn't have them. Go figure. Back then, Utes and Vans were kind of a guy's thing. Maybe it's like the Titanic, men are last. Women and children, side intrusion bars. Men, yeah, don't worry about it. So, that's a joke by the way. I'm going to key that right back. I want to get that, I want to get both of them in primer too. Get a bit of colour on them. Because that's another job I don't have to do once it's done. This feels lovely. I've just got to dull that and that bit there, and I reckon I'm out of it. I got rid of the little imperfection there. Smooth, nice. Pardon me. And also that one there. And there was a couple of lows. And looking along it when it was wet, it looked perfect. So I'm really happy. I want to get that in colour today, but it's looking a little bit wet still. I don't know if I can get away with that. Check this out. I painted it. This was hydroblasted. I etched it. That's the heat riser for the Fairlanes 302. And it rolled onto the MG's colour and spoiled it. And I couldn't do anything about it because the cane ran out. Right, we're going to look at a lovely little colour called Peter's Gold. Can you see that? There's no such colour. It was mixed for me by Milsom's because I wanted a gold. I didn't want to get the, what do you call it? The Pour 15 engine paint because it's horrible to spray. And I wanted a gold for the FE. I've got this thing about 65 and prior FE big blocks that are gold with the black. I think I mentioned it. So they mixed this for me because I sort of went through some colour swatches and liked some stuff and didn't like other stuff. So they came up with this FE big block gold. So it's going to look totally wrong at a 67 Galaxy. They're supposed to be blue, but everything's freaking blue. Where are the holes? I'll put some holes in here. So I'll just put some in here and reduce it a bit. About there. And beautiful. Is that too thick still? I'll try it. It's too thick. I'll thin it again. Just a little bit. And that'll do. Damn. Got my fingers in it. I'm making a mess, guys. Seriously, it's ridiculous. Alright. Perfect. Rightio, so we'll shoot a bit of Peter's Gold onto these covers and see what happens. Should use filter papers. I've bloody run out of them.
I don't want the first coat too thick. That looks a little bit yellow, but it's only a very thin coat.
Right, so I made this out of old guinea pig and rabbit hutch timber. Whoops. Hence the reason why it's weathered. And I did it so I could work on that other guard, and it worked a treat. So well in fact that I figure I'm going to extend it so I can have a guard on this side on that angle. That angle's perfect, although I stuffed that up down the bottom, it's all wrong. So I recut those, get another bit and have it the other way. So I can have two guards mounted. I'll paint them on here. But not just that, I'll leave it sort of erected so I can use it for the XA guards as well. It actually is so much easier than using trestles. I haven't got panel shop fittings here. But I've sort of made it so that it's actually really handy to use. And then once I'm done with the XA, I don't know, Galaxy guards or whatever, it's going to work a treat. So I'm just reconfiguring it a bit because it was only made for one, but I need it for two. So my battery's about to go. The mantra of this is it's not very square, but we don't really care. I'll stick some braces at the bottom. I haven't got any of this guinea pig cage timber there, so I'll just use some fence paling or something like that. And I'm using these square drive screws. I hate them. I like Phillips head ones, but the square drive ones are actually a bit better, I think. If I got that in right. Yep. So I'll keep it around for now, and as I said, do the XA guards, and then I should be out of it. I can pull it apart and throw it back into the house. But then I'll find another purpose for it. I use old timber, like old stuff like this, for building benches and all this sort of stuff. Scrap timber, looks like it's come in handy. This is going to make it very easy to paint. And you can also actually have little cleats under there where you mount it. That's what I had on the other one. And it's very stable to bodywork. That's the other guard, the one that was finished off. I didn't do that one. So that's going to make things easier. The only downside with it, it's very wide. So it'll fit behind the XC and that's about it. Won't be able to get through to go through the back door. But it doesn't matter. For what I want to do today, I think it's scraps. I think it's going to be fine. So that's cool. We can also stick it on casters if we want. Wheel it around. Well, now I'm just being stupid. I bought these wheels ages ago for the EJ to make a dolly so I could wheel it around. But I stuck it on here because I maybe have too much time. I don't know, but they're really easy to roll. I could hitch it up to the back of the car and tow it up to bloody the country, but I wouldn't because it'd fall apart. But anyway, it's going to make, actually, if anything now, it's probably a little bit too high. But no, I can reach that with a gun. But the main thing is I can see that line and I can see that I need to repair it there. It makes things a lot easier. And you can also prop it up. I think it comes to that. You can prop it out so you can reach under there with a gun and all this sort of stuff. So I've got to do behind this one. This is the one grain finished. And I'll just etch behind it or put some satin black or something just to make it look a bit prettier. I did that behind this one just to make it look a little bit more wholesome. Just waiting for that to go off a bit. My usual trick, I wasn't happy with that gold, it was too yellow. We'll go and compare it. I've thrown some black in. It's not cleared, it's wet. I'll take these outside, I'll take it outside and compare it to the other one. See a difference? It's actually just pulled it a shade. That's a lot yellower than that. That almost looks greeny, but it's not. It's just a little bit duller, which is what I wanted. That's actually a good example there. So that's what I've just painted. That's what it was. And it's nice, but it's just a little bit, the FE's had a dirtier gold. And it's probably not even accurate, but I don't mind that colour. I'm actually really glad I changed that colour. It looks great. That's the air cleaner lid, obviously. It's got a dent in it. Got the guard to do yet. And the base is over here. on the Plymouth. And I'm digging that colour. It just looks so much better as far as I'm concerned.
Give it a couple of light coats first. I'll probably have to reduce it a bit more.
A couple of light coats. Very satiny, but looking pretty good. This is going to be nice, this car, when it's finished. So tomorrow, kind of like flow coat, I suppose, I'm going to rub it back and then redo it. I'll give another 3 coats, I reckon. This little jig stand, I'm going to use for the doors on the Fairlane too. It's massive. I've just got to figure how I'm going to get these cars in. What was that painting those? That's the last thing on the XC. Once they're done, we move on to the grille, which is on the roof of the Plymouth, right over yonder, over there. So we'll do some repairs and put Mario's lovely headlights in from Michael. He did an incredible job. I can bring my gold air cleaner and everything back now. So I gave them a light coat, a medium coat, and 3 pretty heavies. They're still satiny, of course, until we get it looking glassy with some wet sanding action. I've also painted the nose cones. I'll mount them on the car later today, just to keep them safe. In the meantime, I might as well, those covers I painted, I might as well put them on there. When the Galaxy turns up, I'll put these covers on because they're all rusty. And it's got the later ones that are very square. It doesn't look quite as good as that. So, oh, hang on, where's that? I've got an oil filler cap somewhere, a non-vented one. Or a vented one, sorry, but not a... not one like that. That goes to the air cleaner, because I actually made a mistake. I welded the air cleaner up. I welded the holes up. Right, so just let me get a tripod and some tools and we'll start doing that. How many bolts do they have? So 2, 5 each. I need 10. I found these old stainless bolts. I've had for ages. Whoops. And these are the original FE ones. So I'll get them hydroblasted and plated, because I like the OE stuff. And I've just found them in this box of random... I think they use them for something, I'm not sure. I'm just hoping I've got enough. I should do. I get there 3, 6, 7. That's another 10. So I've got another 3 there. Oh, that's all I've got too. Maybe this was this an FE one? God knows. It's an old saying, lipstick on a pig. Yeah, I'm just putting the new covers, the ones I painted, which are actually original to this engine anyway. And the old Felpro gaskets, rubber ones, they're on the floor behind the Plymouth. So, doesn't matter, they're rubber. I'll put a bit of Permatex around the bottom of it. And it looks pretty. How pretty does that look? Even though it's not a crappy old engine. And I'll pop these stainless things on with the washers, just so it doesn't scuff up the paint too much. They're a 5/16 thread, so it all fits. I think I had a stainless kit and I put it on the other Galaxy I had. Now, those covers there, the blue ones, I've got the new gaskets on. I'll stick them on the Galaxy when it gets here. I want to do a condition check on that, so I'll do a video on it. This is it. You know, it runs like a chaff cutter. There's something wrong. It's probably got no compression or burnt valve or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out though. That's what we do. There you go. Lipstick on a pig. Doesn't look bad, does it? Let's wipe those off. There's a bit of fallout on them. And they use the same lead separator thing as the Clevo. I think it looks nice without the plumbing, you know, from the air cleaner. And I've just got to finish. I've got to get a grommet. That was the one I didn't mask off very well, so it can be PCV. It's just a large grommet that sits in there. And I've just got to finish that snorkel. And the funny bit is I actually, I have a sticker that says 428 4V, I think it's Police Interceptor. Don't laugh. I have got inside a new alloy intake for one of these. And we've got that crank and all that sort of stuff, so I can build something fairly special. But that's, you know, that's a project for, you know, a little while away. But at the moment, they can stay there. It'll keep them protected, just, you know, sitting there and not being hit with anything. These ones will go in the Galaxy when it turns up, because they look more appropriate. I can probably put that in here for now, just to stop it. Where are we? There we go. One thing I want to mention is Pore 15. Now, I was putting this stuff everywhere on the XW, and I was careful when I did it, although I think on the inside of the floor I forgot to etch it. If you don't etch it, it just peels off in sheets. This was left over, and it's tough, like it is for a single pack paint. It's very, very tough. This was painted in the lower guard section of the C, because I had some left over, so I just brushed it around in there. But it wasn't etched and just came straight off. Now, the sandblaster said that to me. He thought it was a rip-off because he hits it and, you know, it just all blows off in sheets. But sandblasting, the only thing that's not going to remove is weld. But, you know, that's just something to keep in mind if you end up using it, because you have to etch before you do it. And they've got a product called Metal Ready, which is just phosphoric acid, I think, and that helps it sort of bond. Right, I put the scuttle in, then realised the bonnet's really out, which I put that on without the scuttle. I just put it there to keep it safe. We got this guard on, and I gapped it off there, then realised this guy, don't worry about it. So this is all good. That gap's a little bit, how you going? It gets wider in the bottom, kind of, and then tapers off again. It's the best I can do for now. Solid as a rock. Sort of all bolted in there, and, you know, under here, I'm sure they're the right fasteners. Might not be, I don't know. I'm not caring at the moment, so I'm just going to put this on now. And it'll look a bit more like a Falcon, I guess. You're actually quite, oh, I've got to straighten that. You got to put them in, so you got to put them over the guard, then slide them back toward the door. I'm just going to straighten that out a bit, because that looks like it's bent. Hang on, I'll do it in real time. Ready? Oh, look at that. Perfect. She'll be right. Careful. Oh, hit the camera. Going sort of on like that. You want to make sure that speed nut's on the back too. Yeah. Oh, is that still out of shape? I can't see. Damn it, what the hell's going on? Lift it a bit. Oh, that's ugly. But not that ugly. It's kind of ugly. Hang on, I can put that there to pin it. You get the picture. It looks like a Falcon, sort of. Look at that. Hey Rosie, I got the front of the car on.
Really?
Well, not the front, just the guards.
Hey Dad, how do you lock this?
I've no idea.
Because it's not turning.
I'm filming.
Oh, it's not turning.
It's a dog food treat.
Yeah, it's like that's the lock, and it says that way, but it's
I
not.
wouldn't give it to her if she's got the pooies.
No, but I had to rinse her.
Yeah. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to leave it there. I'll finish this. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I've had enough for the day. And once it all hardens off, we'll buff both guards, or wet sand them and buff them, and then I'll put these bits on. Then the grill. In the meantime, I can start on the grill. But I think I had a visit from a lovely guy called Martin, who has offered us another door for the Fairmont XF Fairmont gear one. So it has the side intrusion bars. So I bought some stripper. I was going to do it today, but I've got to do the lawns. Look at that. So I might move that on. I'm going to pay it forward. If anyone wants it for free, get in touch with me, and it's yours. One's Martin's. I've got Martin's one. And I'll start on that. So on that note, we'll say thanks very much for watching. Take good care of yourselves. We'll see you soon. I'm pretty proud. You can see how fuzzy the paint is on the guards because it hasn't been buffed yet, but that finally started to look like a Fairmont GXL. How freaking cool is that? Kind of looks good with the blacked out front too, like a Charger. Anyway, I want to show you something else. Right, Wickham, if you can text me your address again. I've lost it. I've got that sample for you. It's not great. It's just an old bonnet scoop I had. Hopefully that will suffice. Now, I was whinging about the price of the rear hangers. $225. These are universal. eBay, $9 each, right? $18 for both, and it was $10 postage, so I was out of it for $28. This size here, or this part here, is perfect. That bit isn't. So I'm going to make a little bracket to go up under the bumper bolt, and it's going to do fine. I don't mean to be... Look, there's nothing worse than a tight ass, right? People trying to get stuff for nothing, I can't stand that. But I'm kind of at the end of my budget. I think I'm on $29,000 for this car, which is cheap. That's because I do it myself. But I've just overspent. And here's another cause of my overspending. No, it doesn't. It's got a miss in it.
I think that we have the same plug green.
Yeah.
But the mist goes away through you get another on.
Yeah, well, that could be carburetor, could be anything, couldn't it? They're a sweet old thing, DFEs, aren't they?